Hey everyone, Rachel here with Givebutter. Thanks for joining for another success story from the Givebutter community. Today we are featuring the American Society for Yad Vashem. Recently, this organization's virtual 6K raised over $108,000 on Givebutter in memory of the 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust and to raise support for its sacred mission of Holocaust remembrance and education. And all of this is above and beyond the 100K goal with lots of other exciting details that we're going to talk about. If you're looking for a successful race fundraiser, this one is for you for sure. I have Jill here with me to share how they made this event so successful, as well as, tips, tricks, and lessons learned along the way. Jill, thank you so much for joining and sharing your success with the entire Butter fam.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor to be here. I can't believe, when we started this a few months ago, that when we had no idea what we were doing and we turned to Givebutter for advice and help and everything, that now we're here as a success story. It's pretty surreal.
So I cannot wait to dive into all the details of that. But before we do, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your organization's mission?
Great. So thank you. I'm Jill Goldstein. I'm the Director of Young Leadership and Social Media here at the American Society for Yad Vashem. So the American Society for Yad Vashem supports the mission of Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, Israel. It is the world's Holocaust Remembrance Center. It is more than just a museum. We not only have an international school, an art museum, a history museum, and over 50 acres of campus dedicated to different memorials and different statues and gardens honoring righteous among the nations who hid Jews during the Holocaust. It is such an emotional experience to be there. And here in the US, we try to really bring that commitment to remembrance and to ensuring that we all have a better future and that we learn the lessons of those who came before us. We really try to bring that here to the States and, of course, raise money to support Yad Vashem's efforts, but also to bring their educational mission here. And specifically with young leadership to really raise awareness for the next generation so that as unfortunately we are losing more and more survivors, the message and their lessons are carried forth and we really carry the torch through the future.
Wow. Thank you for the incredible work that you all are doing. And as I understand, this 6K that you rallied together so quickly is in support of your sacred mission. So tell us more walk us back to the beginning days where you're like, dreaming up this 6K, what your goals were, how you were thinking through pulling it off.
Yeah, so every year, right before the pandemic began, actually in February, we have our YLA, which is Young Leadership Associates. We have our YLA Winter Gala, which is a huge, 400-person event in Lower Manhattan. The whole theme is really, we are still here to show pride that, we will continue the legacy of those who came before us, and we will also stand here proudly and fight anti-Semitism, which is, of course, right now a major problem in the US and around the world. And we thought, okay, we can't do that this year with the pandemic. What else can we do that really takes everyone while we're apart and brings us together? And also taking advantage of the fact that while we are virtual, there are silver linings. We can really expand this and make it very national, or as it turns out, international. So as we sat there on our Young Leadership Board meeting, I said, people are doing these, virtual races. And of course, when it comes to Yad Vashem, we have to make sure that whatever we're doing is very appropriate and tasteful and respectful. And we thought, but this is something when it comes to young leaders, you want them to do something that taps into their competitive nature and, and also getting outdoors when we're all stuck inside. Mm-hmm. And so I said, okay, a 5K. And I got to say, I'm not a runner. Love to walk, but I'm not a runner. So I was just saying.
A walk run.
Yeah, a walk run. And we wanted it also to be accessible to all ages. Mm-hmm. So whether that means, a toddler or a Holocaust survivor. So that's why we said walk or run. And someone on our board said, why 5K? Why not 6K in honor of the 6 million? And I sat there and I said, okay, we're doing that. That's love it. So I really took, I think it was in March or April, I was really looking around because we said we need one central location to do this. You know, we can't just do this on the back end on our website. We need something that is dedicated to this. How do we do it? Looked around, met with a bunch of people, and I thought, to be honest, Givebutter was too good to be true, because when I looked at the cost and how it would say, you know, of course, if you're doing premium, it's a different cost. But at first, when it was really just this free tool, I'm thinking, no way, this can't be. So I kind of was moving on from it. And then when I wasn't really satisfied with the other ones I was looking at, I came back to it, you know, asked for, you know, a meeting, and I just said, wow, this is real, you know, and learning about it, I said, okay, that I approached my organization and our young leadership board. I said, we got to go with this. Everyone loved it. And one of the best things was that it was so easy to, I would literally be on the go editing, adding, you know, as sponsorships came in, I could just add it. We didn't have to go through someone else who had to edit it. We could do it ourselves. But anytime I needed help with something, just easily message, you know. And I think I was telling you about what a small world it is when the person who I met with initially, Kate, turns out we were classmates at Harvard. And so that obviously helped, because she was able to, you know, make me feel totally comfortable asking any questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, Givebutter was just, it really made this all possible. It was great.
I love that so much. So I totally get that. It seems too good to be true, but then you find out, hey, it really is that easy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that everybody who's following along right now can see, because I know they're on the edge of their seats wondering what this campaign page looks like. And yes, everyone, it was worth the wait, because this campaign page is just gorgeous. Beautifully designed from top to bottom. Copy is just so sharp and easy to follow. So if you're following this right now and you're like, I do not know where to start with the story section, you're in good company and good news. We're going to link this campaign page so that you can check out how they did it. So walk us through how you were thinking designing the page, what was important to you, what were things that you maybe like changed or added along the way?
So we really wanted, of course, a place to acknowledge all of our supporters. Did not realize that list was going to be so long. It was amazing. And I love the supporter feed that people could interact with. And what was so important about this specific feature was that, especially, you know, this really sold us with Givebutter, that you can dedicate your donation, your contribution, your ticket, you can dedicate it in honor or in memory of someone. For us, that was huge. So if you see at the top where, you know, we tried to, this was actually, Kate suggested this, to have a very simple step-by-step guide. And so we put that together, and then we wanted a place where it was very clear that the idea was to dedicate your walk in honor of a survivor or a victim, or maybe it's a Holocaust educator or a righteous among the nations, which, just to explain, are non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust and are honored by Yad Vashem, including the woman who hid my grandmother. So I would not be here today if it weren't for her, Mrs. Lipinski. So here we gave people the option. We wanted to make sure, even if you're not Jewish, if you're not related to survivors, you can still dedicate your walk or run to someone. So we had the opportunity to, we linked it to something called the I Remember wall, where if you go to it, you can basically match with a victim from Yad Vashem's Show a Victim's Names database. That way you can learn all about them and you can share their story on your personal page. We really wanted it to be personal and educational at the same time. And you'll see people shared, if you go to the different pages people created, I think one was, let's see, I can think of Krakowski, if you see, yeah, right there. They are 4 sisters, and they included pictures of their grandparents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so amazing to see what inspired people, and to see that we had people all over the country. We are based in New York, and we have an office in California and Florida, but we had people in Nebraska, in Texas, in Georgia, we had, and Israel as well. So we had around 20 states plus Israel people participating.
Yeah, it turned into an international race.
Yeah.
How exciting. One of the major benefits of going virtual is reaching a wider audience. You had also mentioned before this call, I think people would love to know, what was your original fundraising goal for this event?
Yeah, so it's funny, we had no idea what to put the goal at. So we were trying to be conservative. We actually started out, figured why not 6K? So just in, I think it was the first day, we said, okay, well, we're past that. So we thought maybe that was just, you know, the initial excitement. So we said 10K. Yeah. I can't even tell you when we said to ourselves, oh my gosh, let's make it 30K. Some of us were like, whoa, no. And we hit over, people just kept getting so into it. And the fact, I mean, I am so proud of our young leaders, and this is the most that our young leadership has ever raised in an event.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And it's, yeah, so exciting.
Oh, Jill, how did you keep the momentum going then as you kept pushing the goal forward?
It's unfortunate to say that with everything going on in the world, it provided momentum and inspiration, but you know, it's true that there is, you know, with conflict in Israel and it spilling over all over the world, especially in the US with violent acts of anti-Semitism, many of our, and especially on social media, hateful rhetoric and blatant lies, it's been very difficult for a lot of our young leaders who have been on the receiving end of that. And I think they were really inspired to put their family stories out there and just show like, this is why I'm committed to this. This is why I'm doing it. So that really fueled it. But at the same time, it really provided a communal sense, this way of being together while we're apart. That was really the main thing. It gave people something to be not, you know, competitive, but also proud of. And it really just gave them a way to bring people together, even if not physically.
Yeah, wow, that makes a lot of sense. It was a timely conversation. It gave an opportunity for all of your leaders to be empowered to share their stories and build community together and literally create momentum in your walk and run. Any other tips, tricks, or lessons learned from this event?
Yeah, so one trick, any mailing you have to do, get it out sooner rather than later.
Yes.
But I would say, you know, just go for it. You never know what's going to happen with this. I was hesitant of when should we start it? How is this going to work? And it really just took off, and you've got nothing to lose. And that was the main thing, is with an event like this and a site like Givebutter, there's such little overhead that we were able to maximize our, you know, our fundraising. And that was so exciting. And it's a way, you know, with other events, you see the amount coming in, but it doesn't actually reflect it necessarily because of everything, all the expenses, but here it really reflects it. So that was exciting. And I would say to definitely make use of the constantly, you know, the ability to constantly change the story page and people being able to edit theirs. And I will say, one team member, Ari and Michael, they just, I mean, if you look at what they individually raised and how many supporters they had, what's so amazing is Ari actually is not on social media, but he sent personal emails through the little, you know, email widget.
Wow.
And I thought that was incredible. And it's, you know, there were so many, also a major thing is the connection with Venmo that you have. That's huge for the younger generation.
Yeah.
So definitely utilize that. And while we wanted to do something more with going live, we didn't get the chance to, but we definitely want to next time because we plan on making this an annual event with Givebutter. But I would also say to definitely maximize your use of the graphics for sure. And if you are on Instagram, you know, and can do swipe ups, always swipe it up to this page and really encourage people to share the motivation behind their participation in their personal stories, because that makes it so much more meaningful.
Yes, power of personalization. Those are some excellent tips. Thank you so much, Jill, for joining us and sharing your story. Incredibly inspiring. We are so proud to have been the platform to host this incredible event, and we cannot wait to see what 2022 holds for your 6K.
It'll be exciting. We'll see.
And thank you to everybody else for following along. If you don't want to miss another success story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Givebutter's YouTube channel. And we will see you again next week. Until then, happy fundraising. Bye, everybody.